So when she offered Claire to you, why did you deny it then?
I'm talking to her and
I'm
asking
talking
her
to
now.
you now.
Okay, but we want clarity tonight.
Okay, well, you're jumping in, so I'm going to jump in now.
Jump in.
We're tired of your ass. We're tired of you. You want to be in every conversation.
When Ming sat down with Jackie on what was supposed to be a chill afternoon, no one expected the verbal grenade she was about to launch. With a straight face and calm voice, Ming said the words that would flip the entire dynamic upside down. I know what Evelyn's really been doing behind your back? And just like that, the floodgates opened. According to Ming, Evelyn hasn't just been asking questions about Chantel. She's been digging, scheming, and keeping secrets that no one saw coming. And worse, some of those secrets hit way too close to home. Ming claims she's been holding her tongue for weeks, watching Evelyn play both sides and manipulate the group while pretending to be the voice of reason. But now, she's done. And what she revealed has fans in total shock. From alleged backdoor phone calls to shady past connections, Ming's truth bomb was so heavy, even Jackie had to pause and collect herself. But once the reality sank in, Jackie didn't hold back. Her voice changed, her tone shifted, and she made it clear. Evelyn keeps playing with her daughter's name. There will be consequences, serious ones. Stay locked in because this story is way deeper than anyone thought. And baby, it's about to explode. It all started with a text. Ming sent Jackie a simple message. We need to talk. Just us. No emojis, no extra words, just a straight-up request. Jackie didn't hesitate. She knew Ming wasn't the type to reach out without reason, especially not in the middle of everything that had been brewing lately. The minute they sat down at the rooftop lounge, Jackie could tell something was off. Ming looked nervous, but not scared. More like someone who had finally decided to tell the truth, no matter the fallout. Jackie leaned back, crossed her arms, and gave Ming a look that said, "Go ahead, I'm listening." Ming took a deep breath and started slow. "I didn't know if I should say anything," she began. "But after the way things went down at the villa, I can't keep it in anymore." Jackie stayed quiet, letting her talk. "Evelyn's not who you think she is," Ming continued. "She's been playing a game, and the way she's involving Chantel in it, that's where I draw the line." Jackie's face didn't move, but her eyes narrowed. Ming saw it and kept going. "I overheard her on the phone. She didn't know. I was walking by, just talking to someone about Chantel, about trying to get ahead of the narrative before something came out." Jackie finally spoke. "What narrative?" Ming shook her head. "I don't know." But she sounded like she was panicked. Like she was trying to control a story that hadn't even happened yet. And then when she saw me, she hung up quick and acted like it was nothing. Jackie's jaw tightened. "And you waited until now to tell me this?" Ming looked down. "I wasn't sure if it was worth stirring up. But when I saw Chantel crying after the boat scene, when I saw you standing, they're trying to hold it together. I knew I had to say something." Jackie leaned forward, voice low. "She's been obsessed with me for years. Now she wants to play with my daughter's name like it's some storyline? Nah, we're not doing that." Ming hesitated, then added, "There's more." Jackie raised an eyebrow. "What now?" Ming looked around, making sure no one was listening. "A friend of mine who used to be close to Evelyn told me she's been reaching out to old contacts. People who knew Chantal back in the day, trying to find anything she can use. Not just gossip, actual dirt." Jackie's mouth dropped slightly, but she caught herself. "So now she's hiring investigators." Ming shook her head. "Not official ones, just ... people she knows. People who owe her favors." The air got heavy. Jackie sat back, processing everything. "So she wants to dig up something on my daughter, use it to make herself look like a protector, and act like she's the hero." Ming nodded. "Exactly, but she's not doing it to help you. She's doing it to make you look weak, to make Chantal look messy." Jackie's voice turned icy. She really picked the wrong mother to play with. Fans had always known Jackie was protective of Chantal, but this was personal in a way that went deeper than anything before. And Ming exposing it. That changed the game completely. Across town, Evelyn was already picking up on the shift. She noticed the cold stares, the sudden silences when she walked into rooms. Even the producers were acting different, whispering behind clipboards and watching her reactions more closely than usual. She knew something was coming, but she didn't know how much Ming had told. In her confessional, Evelyn tried to play it cool. "People love to twist stories," she said. "Just because I ask questions doesn't mean I'm trying to start drama. Sometimes protecting the group means asking the hard stuff. If that makes me the villain, so be it." But behind the scenes, Evelyn wasn't as calm as she claimed. She made a few late-night calls, trying to find out who said what. One of her friends from back home warned her, "Ming's talking. She's telling people everything." Evelyn's voice dropped. How much does she know? The answer wasn't clear. But it was enough to make Evelyn nervous. For someone who always prided herself on control, things were unraveling fast. And the worst part? Jackie hadn't even made her move yet. Because when Jackie moves, it's never impulsive. It's strategic. And when it's about Chantal, it's war. Meanwhile, social media was already catching fire. Fans started piecing things together, rewatching clips, analyzing interactions. Someone posted a side-by-side of Evelyn's past shade toward Jackie and the recent scenes where she mentioned Chantal. The caption read, "This been coming." She always had an issue with Jackie's family. The post went viral in hours. Even cast members who weren't involved started chiming in subtly, posting cryptic messages about loyalty, snakes, and fake concern. It was clear this wasn't just a fight between two women. This was a full-blown divide. Ming, now at the center of the storm, wasn't hiding anymore. She stood by what she said, even when people questioned her motives. "I didn't say it for attention," she told a producer. "I said it because it was right. Chantal didn't deserve to be dragged into something she didn't sign up for." Jackie, on the other hand, was quiet. Not silent, but calculating. She started making her own calls, gathering receipts, preparing for what she knew would be the next phase. Because Evelyn wouldn't go down without a fight. And Jackie, she wasn't planning on losing. In one of the more intense behind-the-scenes moments, Jackie was caught on a hot mic talking to Chantal privately. "I need you to be strong, baby," she said. "They're gonna keep coming. They want a reaction. Don't give them anything. I'll handle this." Chantal nodded, tears in her eyes. "I didn't ask for any of this." Jackie pulled her in for a hug. "I know. But we don't run. Not from her, not from anyone." It was a moment fans wouldn't see on screen, but it spoke volumes about the stakes. This wasn't just TV drama anymore. This was about protecting blood, protecting truth, and exposing people who played dirty while pretending to be clean. And as word continued to spread about Ming's revelations, one thing became clear: whatever Evelyn thought she was hiding, it wasn't hidden anymore. And Jackie, she was just getting started. Evelyn knew the energy had shifted. The moment she walked into the studio for her next confessional, the producers barely greeted her. Her stylist kept the conversation short. Even the camera crew, usually chatty and playful, stayed focused and distant. She sat down in the chair, adjusted her mic, and waited for the first question. So, the producer began carefully. "Ming said you've been making calls about Chantal, reaching out to people from her past. Anything you want to clear up?" Evelyn gave a tight smile. People love to exaggerate. "I've asked questions, sure, but I never said I was trying to dig up dirt. I just don't like surprises, and this group, full of them." But even she didn't sound convinced. Her tone was off, the confidence shaken, because deep down, she knew Ming's version wasn't far from the truth. And what really had her stressed was the fact that Jackie hadn't said a word to her directly since the leak. No shade, no confrontation, no screaming across the room, nothing. and that's silence. It was louder than anything else, because if Jackie wasn't talking, she was planning. And Evelyn had seen what Jackie was capable of when she felt her family was under attack, while Evelyn tried to manage her own spin. Ming was already being embraced by fans online. For once, she wasn't being accused of being messy, she was being seen as brave. Comments poured in, calling her the real one for breaking the silence. Someone tweeted, Ming knew the fallout was coming and still told the truth. Loyalty. And as the episode aired with Ming's revelation, even former cast members started chiming in. One posted, never trust the one who smiles the hardest while holding the knife. No names were mentioned, but everybody knew who it was about. Jackie, meanwhile, wasn't wasting time. She called a private meeting with producers and made it clear that she would not be filming any more group scenes unless there was a real conversation on camera. We're not going to fake like everything's fine, she said. This ain't about reality TV drama anymore. This is real life. And if y'all want to catch the real, then turn those cameras on and stay out the way. The producers agreed, but they were nervous because whenever Jackie took charge of the narrative, things got unpredictable. And unpredictable is good for ratings, but dangerous behind the scenes. The next day, everyone was called to a sit-down. Not just a casual dinner or a spa moment, but a formal producer-arranged sit-down. Same space, same time. No excuses. And as the women trickled in one by one, the tension was unbearable. Jackie was the last to arrive. She walked in with Chantel beside her, hand in hand. No words, no extra energy, just presence. Evelyn glanced up but quickly looked away. Ming sat beside Shani, clearly ready to back up everything she'd already said. Denise kept her head down. Even she knew this was bigger than a typical group fallout. Once everyone was seated, Jackie spoke first. I don't want nobody smiling in my face today. We're not going to act like this ain't what it is. She turned to Evelyn, her voice steady. You got something you want to say? Evelyn took a breath. I already said what I had to say in my confessional. Jackie shook her head slowly. Nah, say it to me. Say it to her. She motioned toward Chantal, who sat still, shoulders tense. Evelyn looked uncomfortable. I didn't mean any harm, she said finally. I was trying to be informed. I wasn't trying to hurt anybody. Chantal leaned forward. Then why not come to me? Why talk to people who don't even know me like that? Why go behind my back instead of just asking? Evelyn opened her mouth, then closed it. She didn't have a real answer, just excuses. I thought you might feel attacked, she mumbled. Jackie jumped in. So, instead of risking a direct convo, you chose to attack her in private and let rumors do the work. Ming spoke up. You were building a narrative, Evelyn, whether you admit it or not. Evelyn's face twisted in frustration. I wasn't trying to build anything. I was trying to protect this group. Shani, who had stayed quiet for most of the drama, finally said, sometimes protecting the group means shutting up, not stirring stuff up for the sake of control. Denise added quietly, we've all done messy things, but this one, it's hit different. Chantal didn't deserve that. The room went still. Evelyn stood up, clearly flustered. I'm not gonna sit here and be attacked for trying to stay ahead of drama? Y'all want to make me the villain? Fine. Do what you gotta do. Jackie stood too. You made yourself the villain. Ain't nobody had to help you with that? Chantel rose next, looking directly at Evelyn. I don't need your protection. Not some secret waiting to be exposed. I'm a whole person. And if you really cared, you'd have treated me like one. Those words landed hard. The silence afterward was heavy. Evelyn finally sat back down, not because she wanted to, but because she realized she had nothing left to fight with. Her usual weapons, confidence, deflection, charm, none of it worked in that room. After the sit-down ended, everyone left quietly. Jackie and Chantal walked out first, heads high, arms still locked. Ming followed behind them, looking both relieved and exhausted. Shani and Denise stayed back, talking quietly, trying to process everything. Evelyn lingered last. She sat in the empty space, staring at the floor, alone for the first time in a long time. The cameras kept rolling, catching every second of it. And the fans. They were watching, dissecting, waiting. Online. The internet was in full meltdown mode. Clips from the sit-down leaked almost instantly. Reactions were wild. Some defended Evelyn, saying she was misunderstood. Others dragged her to pieces, calling her manipulative, cold, and power-hungry. One post read, "You don't mess with people's kids, especially not Jackie's. She warned y'all." Another said Chantel ate that, respectfully. But perhaps the most viral quote of the night came from Ming, whose line, "You were building a narrative," turned into a trending hashtag within hours. The fans had picked their sides. And for once, Evelyn wasn't on the winning one backstage. Jackie met with producers again. "This ain't over," she told them. "You think she's done? She's not. But the next time she tries to come for mine, she better come correct, because now I'm watching. I've got my own receipts." Chantal nodded beside her. She thought I was weak. But she forgot who raised me. It wasn't just a moment of strength. It was a declaration. Chantal wasn't hiding anymore. And Jackie. She was just warming up. What started with whispers and speculation had turned into a full-on reckoning. And while the truth was out, the aftermath was just beginning. Trust had been broken, reputations were shaken, and the group would never be the same. Because once someone exposes the truth behind the smiles, there's no going back. And now that Ming had ripped the curtain open, everybody was being seen for who they really were. No edits, no filters, just raw, messy, unforgettable reality. The tension didn't disappear after the sit-down thickened. The villa felt colder, quieter. Even the sound of footsteps echoed louder, like every little movement came with weight. Jackie wasn't speaking to anyone outside her circle. Chantal stayed glued to her mother's side, her walls higher than ever. Ming had gone from soft-spoken observer to a central figure overnight, and she could feel the shift. The girls who used to ignore her suddenly watched her carefully, like they couldn't decide whether she was the hero or the enemy. And Evelyn, she barely showed face. Most of the time, she stayed in her room, blinds closed, phone in hand, trying to figure out how to come back from this dot. But what Evelyn didn't realize was that the damage was deeper than a simple apology could fix. Ming's words hadn't just shaken up the group, they had reshaped the entire dynamic. Before Evelyn held control, her presence alone was enough to sway conversations, influence alliances, and shut people down. Now, that power was gone. The one who took it wasn't loud, wasn't aggressive. It was Ming, quiet, observant Ming, who broke the foundation with nothing more than the truth. Still, Ming wasn't celebrating. The spotlight wasn't something she wanted. She knew what came with it. It didn't take long for the whispers to start. A few of the girls began questioning Ming's motives. Why now? Why hold on to that info for so long? Why tell Jackie instead of Evelyn directly? Denise, who had tried to stay neutral, admitted on camera, "I'm not saying Ming lied, but I think she picked a side." And once you pick a side, you're in the war whether you like it or not. Fans caught on to that clip fast, with some siding with Denise, while others clapped back. One tweet read, "Denise been flip-flopping since episode 1. Ming did what needed to be done." Jackie, however, wasn't doubting Ming at all. If anything, she was grateful. In a private moment captured between takes, Jackie pulled Ming aside. "You didn't have to say what you said," she told her, "but you did. And I respect that. People talk a lot about loyalty, but you showed it." Ming nodded, her voice low. "I just wanted you to know the truth before it got worse." Jackie nodded back. "It already got worse. Are we just making sure it doesn't get messier?" But mess is exactly what was coming. Evelyn had been quiet publicly, but behind the scenes, she was preparing to tell her side. She scheduled a private one-on-one with production and made it clear she had her own receipts. "If they want to paint me as the villain, that's fine," she said, seated in front of a black backdrop with her signature calm stare. "But I'm not going to let them erase context." People love to react to pieces of a story, but nobody ever asks what led up to it. She reached into her bag and pulled out a stack of printed text messages. This is from someone close. To Chantel, someone who's been feeding me info for weeks. And I never used it. Not once. Because even I have limits. The producers leaned in. "Why hold on to it if you didn't plan to use it?" Evelyn smirked. "Because I wanted to be ready in case this day came. And clearly it has." Back at the villa, the producers began debating whether they should show the texts to Jackie. It was a tough call. On one hand, transparency mattered. Exposing new details could reignite a fire that was just starting to cool. But before any decision was made, Chantel got wind of it. One of the assistants had slipped up mentioning something about messages during a mic check. Chantel confronted a producer directly. "What messages? It's talking about me now." The producer froze. "We're still verifying them." That was enough for Chantel. She stormed into the main lounge where everyone else was sitting. "Still talking about me?" she asked loudly. Silence. Everyone looked around, avoiding eye contact. Then Evelyn walked in, calm, collected, but ready. "You're talking about me? Just say it," she said. Chantel's eyes narrowed. "You've still got people spying on me." Evelyn didn't flinch. "I've got people telling me things. Whether I ask or not, they come to me. Maybe they see something you're trying to hide." Jackie stood up so fast her chair nearly tipped over. "Say one more thing about my daughter, and I swear." Chantal put a hand on her mother's arm. "I got it." She turned to Evelyn. "You don't scare me. You hide behind your connections, your reputation, your history on this show. Deep down, you're just scared. Scared that someone else might shine without needing to step on you to do it." Evelyn's jaw clenched, but she didn't respond. She looked away, knowing she had no comeback strong enough to counter the truth. In that moment, after that confrontation, the vibe was officially shattered. Any hopes of healing or pretending were gone. Fans watching the live stream of the taping lost their minds. Clips spread like wildfire. Chantel's calm clapback was trending with users, calling it the moment she took her power back. Jackie, meanwhile, went silent online, not because she had nothing to say, but because she knew the battle was still ongoing. And when Jackie goes quiet, it usually means something is coming. Evelyn, however, chose a different path. She posted a cryptic photo to her story, a close-up of a chessboard with a caption, "The Queen protects her kingdom, always." It was subtle, but everyone got the message. She wasn't backing down. She still believed she had the upper hand, but what she didn't expect was for one of her own allies to switch sides. That night, Denise knocked on Jackie's door. She didn't say much, just sat down and handed Jackie her phone. "I got a message from the same person who's been feeding Evelyn," she said. "I didn't respond, but you need to see it." Jackie scrolled through the texts. It was bad. Someone claiming to have personal history with Chantel, offering to clear things up in exchange for a check. The desperation in the message was obvious, and now with Denise confirming Evelyn's source, everything changed. Jackie looked up from the phone, her voice quiet but deadly. "They really tried to run a smear campaign on my child." "For what? Airtime? Clout?" Denise looked ashamed. "I didn't know it had gone that far, I swear." Jackie handed the phone back. "It always goes that far. With people like her, there's no line they won't cross. But now that I know, I can act, and believe me, I will." Just when the dust seemed ready to settle, the stakes had risen again. This wasn't about rumors anymore. This was a coordinated attempt to break Chantel down. And now that Jackie had the proof, there was no more holding back. The storm Evelyn had been trying to control had finally arrived, and this time Jackie wasn't coming with warnings. She was coming with war. The next morning started with silence, but that silence didn't feel peaceful, it felt loaded. Cameras were already rolling before anyone left their rooms. And the crew moved with caution, like they knew something heavy was about to unfold. Jackie was already dressed, pacing her room with her phone in her hand. Chantel sat on the edge of the bed, tying her sneakers like she was preparing for battle. Neither of them spoke, but the energy between them was clear. They were aligned, and they were done playing nice dot. Jackie walked out first, her steps steady and slow, wearing all black like she was headed to a funeral. Chantal followed closely behind. This wasn't about drama anymore. This was about setting the record straight. By the time they entered the lounge area where the other women were gathered, the room felt quiet. Ming, Shani, and Denise were already seated. Evelyn came in last, wearing shades and acting like the night before hadn't even happened. But the way she kept adjusting her bracelets and checking her phone said otherwise. She knew something was coming. What she didn't know was how far Jackie was willing to go to protect her daughter. Jackie didn't waste time. She walked straight to the center of the room and held up her phone. "I told y'all before that I had proof," she said. "And since people love acting clueless when the cameras are rolling, let's make it real simple today." She scrolled and then read aloud. "Hey Evelyn, let me know what kind of info you're looking for on Chantal. I know a couple people she used to hang with. Could probably get something juicy if the price is right." Gasps. Actual gasps. Nobody expected Jackie to read the message word for word, especially not with that cold calm in her voice. Evelyn leaned back, lips pressed tight. "That message wasn't from me," she said finally. "You can't prove I responded to that." Jackie looked her dead in the eye. "Baby, I got the full thread. You didn't just respond. You encouraged. You told this person and, I quote, make sure it's solid." "I can't go on air with rumors." Ming clutched her chest. Denise's mouth dropped open. Even Shani couldn't hide her shock. This wasn't hearsay anymore. This was evidence. Real, undeniable. Direct.Chantel stepped forward. Eyes locked on Evelyn. "Why?" she asked quietly. "Why was I such a threat to you? I've never come for you, never tried to take your spot. I stayed in my lane." Evelyn didn't respond. For the first time in a long time, she didn't have a comeback. Not because she couldn't speak, but because she knew no words could clean up what had already been exposed. Jackie stepped in front of her daughter and said, "You tried to humiliate her. Tried to use her for a storyline? Eh? And you did it while smiling in my face. If you thought that would break us, you don't know who you're dealing with." Ming stood up next. "I just want to sigh, didn't come here to divide anybody. But after what I saw, after what I heard, I couldn't keep quiet. If I had, I would have been just as guilty." She turned to Chantal. "I'm sorry you had to be dragged through this. And I'm sorry I didn't speak up sooner." Chantel gave her a soft nod. "You did more than most." Shani added, "You did the right thing. And now we can finally move forward knowing who's who." But Evelyn wasn't ready to bow out completely. She stood up, hands on her hips, eyes fierce again. "I made mistakes, yeah? But don't sit here and act like y'all perfect. Everybody in this room has lied, manipulated, played both sides. I just had the nerve to say what others only think." Jackie laughed, but it was bitter. Saying what others think ain't the same as targeting somebody's daughter. You could have come for me all day long, but you made it personal, okay? And that's where you lost. Evelyn walked out the room, not saying another word. But the weight of what just happened followed her like a shadow. For the first time, she wasn't the one in control. She wasn't feared. She was isolated. And no amount of bold quotes or strategic alliances could fix what had been broken. Outside, she stood by the pool, staring at her reflection in the water. It didn't look like power anymore. It looked like regret. Inside, Jackie pulled Chantal in close. "You handled yourself like a woman today," she said. "You didn't let her shake you. You spoke your truth," Chantal whispered back. "I was scared at first, okay, but then I realized she doesn't own the narrative. We do." Jackie smiled. A real one this time. "Damn right we do." Ming, Denise, and Shani came over to offer support. It wasn't some fake reconciliation. It was real, layered, and honest. This group had been through hell and back. But the truth had brought a strange kind of peace. Later that evening, production called a wrap on the shoot. They got more than they bargained for. No one could have written this kind of emotional arc. And behind the scenes, the network was already discussing how to turn these moments into an explosive finale. But for the women, especially Jackie and Chantel, it wasn't about screen time anymore. It was about healing, rebuilding, and making sure this kind of betrayal never touched them again. Jackie and Chantel ended the night outside, on the balcony of their suite. Soft wind, distant ocean sounds, the kind of setting that feels like the end of something. "Do you think she'll ever apologize?" Chantal asked. Jackie thought for a moment. "Maybe, but even if she does, I won't need it. Not anymore. Because we didn't just survive this, we exposed it. And that's more powerful than any apology." They sat there in silence, mother and daughter, stronger than they were before. And as the lights from the villa faded behind them, one thing became crystal clear: Evelyn's secrets were no longer secrets. They were history. And Jackie had made damn sure that history would never repeat itself again. Not on her watch. Not ever. And there you have it. Ming's bombshell turned the entire house upside down, exposing not just Evelyn's strategy, but her true intentions. What started as whispers in the background became undeniable facts laid out for everyone to see. Jackie didn't just defend her daughter, she dismantled the entire scheme piece by piece. And Chantel, she stood tall, faced it head on, and walked away with her dignity intact. Fans are still reeling from the fallout, and social media hasn't stopped buzzing. The group will never be the same after this. Trust was broken, alliances collapsed, and the unspoken rule was made clear: come for Jackie's family and expect a storm you can't contain. But what happens next? Will Evelyn ever take full accountability, or will she return with a new plan and another target? Will the cast ever truly forgive and move forward, or are the wounds too deep to heal? Is Chantal finally done with this circle, or will she come back stronger than ever with her own voice and story? And where does Ming go from here? Will she'll be embraced for telling the truth, or frozen out for speaking up? We want to hear from you. Do you think Evelyn crossed the line? Was Ming right to reveal those secrets, or should she have stayed silent? And will Jackie ever trust anyone in that house again? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you never miss the next chapter in this wild reality saga. Because if this season has proven anything, it's that no secret stays buried forever. The drama is far from over.